What is up, Titan Nation? How is everybody doing tonight? We are back in full effect. I'm so happy to be back. I got my new Derrick Henry artwork here, courtesy of my sister. And give us a big shout out to James Ryan. If y'all haven't checked this stuff out on Twitter yet, he does incredible artwork. He's got an AJ Brown piece out right now that's incredible. You can buy his stuff on Etsy, message him on Twitter. He'll actually do special things too, like commission work and stuff like that. The dude is amazing. And I'm so glad to add that to the wall. So yeah, Merry belated Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. It's been a great Christmas for me. I hope all of you out there have had a great Christmas as well. I already see the chat is lighting up. Billy, what's up? Keisha Bible, longtime supporter of me, Titan Upload, the Titan Upload Network. So it's much appreciated for real. And I believe she's a moderator on this side. I've made a few people moderators. DWS, what's up, brother? I saw Titan Anderson in here earlier. What is up, my friend? Titan Anderson, one of the best in the business. Mario Delgado, he said, what's up, Rossi? Shout out from the state that can be its own nation, Texas. Yep, that is true. Sometimes I think South Florida is its own nation too. SM Ducky, what's up, Ducky? Ducky's my buddy, fellow cat owner. Bryce Pratt, what's up, buddy? Longtime supporter. Al Pierce says, let's get the AFC and the #1 seed all in one weekend. Swish the fish. Go Titans. Kick Miami Dolphins tail. Yep, that's right, man. And I'm actually only I technically live like 25 minutes from the Dolphins Stadium, but I'm glad they're playing in Nashville. So I think it gives them a better shot of pulling it out. Titan Tigers, South Texas in the house. Greetings, Titan Nation. Greetings to you. Spicy, what's up, my friend? Spicy's always sharing the show, trying to get us subscribers. And we are on the road to 1K. I think we're at 870. Started in training camp. So you guys have been absolutely smashing it for me. And I do appreciate that. Edward, what's up, my friend? If y'all haven't subscribed yet, please do. Please subscribe. Please give us a like, share the show, retweet the show, tell your friends, you're at work or whatever next week or tomorrow, you're around the water cooler or whatever. Tell your friends to check out Titans Rossi if they're Titans fans or NFL fans for that matter. Billy Scott, what's up, my friend? Titan, Stephen Crocia, man, there's so many of you in here tonight. Ryan, Titans Time, my good buddy Tyler. Y'all check out his podcast, Titans 2K. Tyler's wife, Karen, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope your little baby's doing well. Nancy, what's up, Nancy? And yeah, I guess that's what we got as far as now. So I'm going to roll the intro, guys. This is kind of a newer intro. I don't know if you guys have seen this. And we have a very, very special guest with us tonight. Titans for life. His name is James Wheeler. Dude is amazing. He's been pumping out the content. You guys got to check his channel out. Very knowledgeable. Knows a lot about the X's and O's. Knows a lot about the Titans in general. The players and everything else. So super excited to have him on. He's become a friend of mine and super excited for that. So we're going to bring him on in here. I got a great show planned for you guys. We got a lot of videos. We got freaking graphics. I mean, I've been, sweating today making content. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We got 24 in the house. Tighten up that like button. Let's go.
Oh, how y'all doing? This is Jalen Fly, a.k.a. the Mountain Mover. Make sure y'all follow my movement. But in the meantime, check us out. I need y'all to like and subscribe because this is Titans Rossi. Oh, let's go.
Boom. There we go. What's up, man?
Every time I see that intro, I just want to suit up and get out there and play some football. Let's go.
I love it, man. It's so cool he did that for me, So
Yeah.
I really, he's cool, man. We've kind of become friends. We text each other and stuff, and gonna try and get him on Titan Upload show here soon, just to kind of get it out to a bigger audience. But such a cool dude. Anyway, so how are you doing, man? How is everything?
Well, as you can see, I'm wearing my UT stuff. I was watching that game tonight, and man, I tell you what, that ACC officiating crew, whew, maybe they should be suspended again.
Man, it was terrible. And I'm going to play this and I got to give a shout out to Austin Stanley, as much as I don't want to, but I have to because he took the video. No, me and Austin are cool. I like Austin, but I got to give a shout out to him because he was right on the goal line. So we might as well just get this over with. I want to play the video. We'll talk about it for a minute. This obviously is a Titans podcast, but I grew up a Vols fan. I still am a Vols fan. And this one really hurt. And it was just, man, it was awful. So here we go. Let's roll it. I'm going to play it one more time for good measure. I mean,
oof.
I have eyeballs, you know what I'm saying? Like I can see. I mean, I was blessed with that, with vision and everything. Were the refs? I don't.
Well, I mean, you can't have forward progress stopped if you're still moving forward. I mean, that's the definition of stopping forward progress. His legs were still turning, his feet were still moving. That's not stopping a forward progress. And I do have to say, this is the same officiating crew that got suspended from the ACC after the Miami Duke game. This is the same crew, and how they are working a bowl game is a question mark to me. I don't know how in the world they managed to get a bowl game after being suspended for, I think it was 4 or 5 bad calls in that game that were obviously bad. But the ACC said we've got to suspend you. I mean, how many crews have ever been suspended? Not many.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of any that have actually just been suspended. I mean, you got to be pretty bad as a whole crew to be suspended.
Yeah. So I don't understand how in the world they got a game, number one. Number two, they made some horrendous calls and missed some calls that were real, that the side judge should have picked up on that holding penalty where receivers running down the field and his jersey's being stretched a yard. I mean, his jersey was literally being stretched a whole yard. You could see it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's terrible, man. The officiating, and we were talking about this before we started, but I mean, God, the officiating is just, it's been atrocious this year, the past couple years, but especially this year. I mean, it's so bad across college football, the NFL. It's like, what's happening? Like I mean, the Ed Hockley's and all the great officials, that era of officiating is gone. I mean, I'm not saying the officiating was ever perfect, but I feel like, you know, even just 5 years ago, a decade ago, we weren't having these type of issues. Not like now, you know what I mean?
No.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me.
I think a lot of it is part of it is the older officials have retired. The other part is that there are very little things that are done to officials when they really make mistakes. They don't they grade them and they say, oh, you can't, you're not going to be a playoff official, but they still they don't get suspended. They don't get fined. Nothing happens to them other than, oh, you can't do playoff games.
Yeah.
I mean, so why you care enough to know the rules and stuff like that, but why would you care if you blow 10 or 15 calls because there's nothing going to happen to you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. Anyways, we'll move on for that. We've had a couple things going on, and I don't want to, go on forever about it. And, the thing with Logan Ryan yesterday, before we get into the preview and break everything down, and let us know what you think in the chat too. Like, do you think Logan Ryan was right or wrong, or what is your opinion of it? I'm going to play the video of him. I got a few things on him. It really ticked me off. I know. I mean, after I kind of settled down a little bit, I was like, but it still ticks me off. Like, I'm not changing my initial. I made a video about it. You know what I mean? But here we go. We'll just play it, kind of get into it. This is what he said yesterday.
Fans are upset. They're angry. They're disappointed in the season and really the last few years. I'm wondering how much you and the players in general realize it, hear it, or talk about it even at all.
No, we realize it, and it's just not okay. Their reaction is okay. What the product isn't okay right now, and I take that to heart as a leader on this team. I haven't felt like the preparation and the work has always generated to the results on the field, and I understand that, and I take my share of ownership on that. I just try to symbolize the way to play and how I play and control what I can control. I can't control the positions I'm putting on the field. I can't control the score all the time, but I just try to play every snap hard, especially last game, finishing that game off and stuff like that. But no, I understand that we have a great fan base, a ton of tradition. It's a privilege to play here. I played in a franchise in Tennessee where the fan base was non-existent. Like, you couldn't even get fans to the games. You had to put tickets half off to get fans to the games. So I understand the tradition of this area, the history of the NFC East, what these rivalries mean with Philly and Dallas and the Washington football team. It means a lot. I mean, it's what people talk about day in and day out. So I'm here to be part of that change. I'm here to demand better. I'm here to play better. And I'm here to hopefully going forward start bringing some of that championship and playoff habits to the team, because I believe you need to have that before you actually make that. So I'm trying to be a part of the solution the best I can. I take it very seriously, and I hear what the fans are saying. I understand the frustration, and I'm equally as frustrated. So
there we go. It really made me mad when I heard it. Now, before I see you getting geared, revved up over there. Before we get into it, let me play what Luan said about it today. We'll get our thoughts on it. And I know we've had some people in the chat, and thank you so much for tuning in. There's 36 people in here. Hit that like button and subscribe button. So here we go. Here's what Luan said today about it.
I have so much respect for Logan Ryan, and when I talk about the culture of this team and where this team was and where it's going and where it came from, Logan is one of those key players that helped change the culture of this team. And I think if we all look at everything with an unbiased opinion, when Logan first got here, there wasn't a lot of people in the stands. Now, because of Logan and other guys, there are now more people coming in these stands. So the fans that are upset are the diehard fans who have been supportive and have been there since the late 90s, that have had season tickets for the whole time the Titans have been here. They have every right to be upset, but that comment's not directed at you. As a younger franchise, we have grown and grown and grown and grown, and continuing to make this, great city of Nashville more proud of a football team. And so although they were harsh words, it's still, we're a growing franchise, and the loyal fans, and they know who they are, they shouldn't be mad about those comments, because those comments aren't directed at them.
So there you go. And a lot of people are commenting in the chat, and a lot of people are mad, and rightfully so, especially longtime fans. So what are your thoughts?
Doggone right, I'm mad. And within our family, we have 8 PSLs and founding member PSLs. 8. We've every year paid the full price for those tickets. Every year showed up for those games. Even when the product on the field was horrible, we were there. Okay? So to say the fans were non-existent is inexcusable, number one. Number two is look, you can't sell a product that is bad, no matter how hard you try. I believe you're in sales, right?
Yep.
You're in sales. Now, if your product was bad, would you be selling anything?
No, I mean, not if you're a good moral person, no, you know.
Yeah, if you're a good moral person,
a lot of people do sell crap, you know,
but do people come back to buy that more crap after they got crap?
Of course not.
So you put a better product on the field, people show up. That's like blaming. You know, I said this in when you first posted that. You know, it's like blaming the cake for someone being overweight. The cake didn't do anything. You ate the cake. That's why you overweight, right?
That's good.
So Logan Ryan, if you want a better product, if you want more fans in the seats cheering for you, put a better product on the field. You got to look within yourself. If the fans aren't showing up, that means that you ain't doing your job very well.
Yeah.
Period. So, you know, that and it pisses me off. It really does. You know, to be at all those games, rain or shine, snow, 40 degrees, raining hard, still out there cheering. Next day, wake up, you know, sore throat from all of that and not feeling well, but still going to those games. That pisses me off. And you're telling me that we didn't show up for you? Well, heck, half the time you didn't show up for us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the plain and simple of it. A bad product doesn't sell.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. And here is his. So I guess this was his apology, because I know he had thousands of comments on his Twitter. I mean, he was probably getting blown up, like ding, 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 you know. But here is his, you know, I guess his apology. Meant no respect to Titans fans. We won a lot of games, saved a lot of animals together. You guys have always been great to me. Was born, I don't know. Oh, the association was born in Tennessee. His charity, nothing but love for y'all. Good luck in the playoffs. Key thing at the end here. Key thing. I'll be at home watching. So I mean, yeah, I agree, and a lot of people in the chat are kind of saying, you know, agreeing with you and saying the things that you're saying. And somebody said, you know, tickets are expensive. They are. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, I've looked up tickets for other teams because I was going to go to a Bucks game just for the heck of it. And oh my gosh, dude, like nosebleeds are, you know, 300 and something on the low side. So, I mean, it's insane how expensive the tickets are just in general. It really is. I mean, and for us, somebody said it on, I can't remember who said it. It might have even been Buck Rising, maybe A to Z or something. But for us longtime fans like yourself, I've been to a lot of games. Never been a season ticket holder, but I've been to a lot of games. I've definitely spent thousands of dollars going to games as a whole. Like, it's just disrespectful to me. Like, you went out of your way to bring up the Titans to say that, and then you want to rebuttal it with, oh, my charity, all that stuff. Well, yes, you do have a charity, and it's still rolling in Tennessee. Like, it's still going strong. And a lot of the people who donate to that charity are Titans fans. They didn't know you any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yes, okay, it's not that big of a deal. And somebody said on my YouTube, well, man can speak his mind, you know what I mean? Everybody's got an opinion and blah. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Okay. Like, I don't care. You could say whatever you want. Anybody can. Your opinion is well valued, just like anybody else's. I get that. But man, have some tact, dude. Like, have some tactfulness to what you're saying. I get you're probably pissed because your team sucks, and all that. But like somebody posted in the chat, the Titans sell out 99% of their games. The PSLs is a big thing. Even if everybody's not there, that seat's still paid for. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let's get to some of the comments on this.
Well, I do want to say one thing about his rebuttal and all of that. Yeah, he has a right to say what he wants. That is his right. However, there is repercussions, and those repercussions for saying something like that are you have to face those when you say something. You have to be prepared to face those. So if he's prepared to face those, where people maybe stop donating to his charity, or people stop following him, or stop following him on his social media and stuff like that, he has to face those consequences. So be careful what you say, because it has consequences.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to some of the comments. Edward says Logan Ryan is salty. I agree. Carrie says pretty sure he's out of line, then tried to come back for it. Yeah, of course he did. Spicy says it was uncalled for. I was mad at first, but I've calmed down. Let's see some other comments. Coda says 99% ticket sales though. And yeah, that's amazing for small market. Steven says Logan Ryan left his dog in Quahog. Coda says go check the numbers. It's the non-existent thing that's disrespectful for sure. And thank you, Sin City, for tuning in, man. I know you work nights and stuff. Sin City's my dude. Mario says it's uncalled for. No excuse for that comment. Carrie says the non-existent thing as well. So I mean, I think I would say most people are in agreement with it being uncalled for. But anyways, we'll move on. You know what I mean? It is what it is. All the best to him, regardless. I don't wish ill will upon anybody. So whatever, you know what I mean? So let's get to some of this game, man. And I did want to play a video from last week's game, just because it definitely ties into this week, because we're going to need some of this. And I'm glad that, maybe this can be a building game for Tannehill and the offense, and AJ Brown and all that stuff. And it was the run from last week. So I'm trying to track it down here. Oh yeah, the 23-yard scramble. And this was awesome. I was there. It was amazing. You can hear the crowd going.
Tannehill, pressure, steps away. He can run, makes the move. First down, Tannehill into field goal range. Now if you're San Francisco, you got to start.
So, I mean, that was amazing, man. Probably the play of the game. So, what do you think? I mean, do you think this is obviously AJ Brown being back, but do you think this is kind of a confidence game, maybe for both of them?
Well, I think it was AJ Brown played like he was pissed off the whole game. I mean, every time he caught the ball, it wasn't just I caught the ball and he goes down. They were literally trying to tackle him, and they were doing everything technically right on the defense, but they couldn't bring him down.
Yeah.
He was playing angry, which is what we have to have from AJ. And for Ryan needs to really kind of just settle down a little bit. I know he can't trust his right side of the line, and we had basically our left side of the line was completely out. So but I think that is they've learned a few things. They learned that Dylan can play left tackle and that he can play it pretty well. And I think that they started trusting him a little bit. So I think it was a confidence booster. If I would say it's a confidence booster for anybody, I really think that it was a confidence booster for that left side of the line, the backup left side of the line, because they held up. But the right side of the line still hasn't held up all season. And they're going to have to go out and do something at the end of the season. I think Ryan Tannehill is what he is. When he's got some supporting cast, he's really good. When he doesn't, he is marginal.
Yeah, I was on a Dolphins YouTube channel today. I think it's called On the Fin or something. They got a big following. They got over 5,000 subs. But that was the first question he asked me. What about Ryan Tannehill? What do you think of Tannehill? And I just said, you know what I mean? He's good when he has talent out there. I mean, you could say it for any quarterback if they don't have talent, but I think great quarterbacks make players better around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This year there hasn't really been. I mean, Tom Brady's had a heck of a year, but as far as like that dominating QB play, really hasn't been that this year in the league.
No.
That's why you're hearing, I think for the most part, that's why you're hearing Jonathan Taylor more in the MVP conversation, because last year there was better QB play. You had Aaron Rodgers going off, Mahomes, so anyways, I do want to, here's kind of the team comparison for the game, the stats, where we stand, where they stand in rankings. You can see here, the one thing that stands out for us is actually, rushing yards against. We're second in the league, which is amazing. I mean, what a step up from last year. The passing yards against, we're 26, but I feel like that number is, I mean, it's kind of inflated. I don't think we're as bad as that portrays. Now, Miami's defense has been playing really well. They have two really good cornerbacks, and Howard and the other guy, I think it's Byron Jones, I think it's his name. He's playing, they're playing really well, but you can see points against, they're 10th. Total yards against per game, we're 13th, which is incredible compared to last year. It's night and day. Anything stand out to you on the Dolphins side of things? I know, and what about the sacks? Does that, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? The Dolphins are first in the league in sacks.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do in sacks is they do have some pretty good play when it comes to getting in the backfield. However, look at their strength of schedule.
Yeah.
So they haven't played the teams that we've had to play. I mean, they really haven't. The Jets. I mean, we should have won that game, but they've played the Jets and the Giants, which are two teams that are not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not very good. Carolina, another team, not very good. So you can rack up those kind of stats. And then you look at the passing yards against defensively, 14 yards separates 26th from 15th.
That's true.
14 yards. That's it. 14 yards per game. But you also have to understand that the Titans, once again, have played much, much better teams when it comes to passing. I mean, we've played better teams. It's just that simple. So I think the problem with looking at these stats is that you're looking at them in isolation from, the quality of play that they've had to play. So, we've had one of the harder schedules while they've had one of the easier schedules. So I really think that's where you're looking at that from that standpoint.
Yeah, and if you look, I mean, we'll get back to kind of the last 5 games. You can see on the bottom there, because I wanted to show their 7-game win streak. Obviously, the Baltimore, they started with that, and Baltimore was decent then. So I mean, that was a good win, But other than that, I mean, they haven't played anybody really. I mean, as you could see, we're 2-3 in the last 5 games, but we've picked it up the last few games. But if it wasn't for the turnovers, we might be talking about 4-1, possibly 3-2 at least. So I think no turnovers last game was crucial. Could have been the difference in the ball game, So I'm not sold on this, like on the Dolphins being. Yes, I get they're on a win streak, and like Vrabel says, the NFL is a tough league. It's hard to win in the NFL, no matter who you're playing. It's a tough league, especially this year. It's the AFC is crazy. And I haven't got it here. Like if you look at the parity this year, it's just wild. All these teams that are still in it. I think it could be close to a record at this time of year for how many teams are still in the hunt. You know what I mean? So I never. Here's the thing: we're Titans fans. We know we can't just. I can't say just in good faith that we're gonna blow them out. I hear people saying we're gonna blow them out. I don't think it's gonna be that type of game. I don't know, but I think it's going to be a little closer. But I want to say that we should pull away with this game, right?
Well, it's going to all depend on I personally think it's going to be the first 2 or 3 series that's going to dictate the game. The Titans, and I don't even say this Miami's first 2 or 3 offensive series. I think it's the Titans' first 2 or 3 offensive series. I really wish they would tell Todd Downing to go ahead and make up your game plan for the first and second half, and then grab that first half and throw it in the dumpster and say, this is what we're going to be doing in the second half. This is what we're going to be doing the whole game. And you just use that second half, because this play calling in the first half has been abysmal. It has been bad. But that second half, that's why the Titans are a second half team, is they get much better play call in the second half than they do in the first. And I also think Miami is getting better as the season goes along. They have a young quarterback. They're figuring out how to call plays that he can execute. I think that's one thing. And another thing is their defense is getting better and better as the year goes on.
Yeah.
But the problem with the Titans is that we have so many. At one point in time, I thought, I was like, we're going to have more people on injured reserve than we have playing in the game. That's just how the Titans have been all season. So when you start looking at statistics, you've got to look at the totality of what's going on with each of the teams. The Titans have just not been healthy, but I think we're getting healthy now. And watch out as we get healthier. I mean, you saw what A.J. Brown could do when he's healthy.
Yeah, and somebody and I read this earlier. I saw a comment and I was like, double take, because apparently AJ didn't practice today, or he left practice. He had a calf injury, but from what I read, it was just precautionary. So I think right now, I mean, that's a smart move. You know, if any little thing pops up, just set him down because we need this guy. I mean, I think, and Paul Kaharski wrote an article about it, but I think A.J. Brown is almost probably just as important as Derrick Henry moving
forward.
He is. You know what I mean? Like, we need him out there. I mean, the guy has been out quite a bit this season. He still has over 700 yards receiving. You know what I mean? It's and he's had a lot of drops. He's had a down year, you know, but I mean, look at this. He has 760 yards receiving in 11 games.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I of course, Henry, we might hear something next week. As far as I would say we should expect that. I don't know. Should we expect that?
Well, I know internally they've been preparing and making moves internally for his return. I do know internally that is going on. And I know that the Titans just don't talk about injuries and they don't talk about returns when someone's coming back. All of a sudden they'll just end up, oh, they've been called up. Well, and people are rushing to write about it. But we said this a while back, that this was the kind of the time frame that we were expecting some movement. And there is some movement going on within the organization about Derrick Henry's return. I think you're going to start seeing more articles and things like that because the Titans have to do certain things to bring him back. They have to loosen up some roster. They have to open up a roster spot, which means they're either going to have to drop somebody down to practice squad or kick somebody off practice squad and then drop somebody. So you're going to, at some point, they have to do that. And I think that that's coming pretty soon. I know that he is working out. I know he's working out his normal workout. It's not the, mitigated workout where, they're not, he's walking around. He's been around. He's doing film study and things like that. He can't practice with the team. He can't do stuff like that. But I mean, there are still things that he can do and he's doing them. So I was expect that you're going to start seeing things. And I said this a couple of weeks ago, you're going to start seeing things in the next day or two. But I think that they're not going to announce it. They're not going to say much of anything because you're giving people time, other teams time to prepare for him, which is not something you want to do. You have to think like a GM and a coach. The more time someone has to prepare for a player, the more effective they can be at defending that player. So, I mean, they're just not going to, you're not going to hear much until it happens. You're going to see somebody dropped and then you're going to see him designated return. And then next thing you know, he's going to be playing. Yeah.
So what do you think Downing needs to do in the first half of this game? What would be your game plan if you're Downing going into this game, knowing outside of Waddle, I mean, they don't have a lot of options. Gesicki's been decent, but what would be your game plan as far as offensive coordinator right off the bat going into this game?
The first thing I do is I really kind of challenge the interior of their line. I really think that if you challenge the, say, B gap of their line, I think you're really going to start seeing some things because then that means that they have to bring down the linebackers, bring up the safeties, 2-3 yards, which gives A.J. Brown room to work, right? He doesn't need a lot of room. That yard or two is more than enough for A.J. I also think that you've got to start working Julio into the game plan more. You have to. Julio has to be worked into the game plan. 80% of Julio is better than 100% of 70% of the receivers in the NFL. I mean, it's just that. I mean, that's how, he's big, he's physical, he goes up and gets those balls. You've got to work him into that game plan, and they have not done a very good job of doing that since he's been back. And you've got to get him in that game plan, because that takes so much more pressure off of. That takes a lot of pressure off of AJ. Well, now we can't just concentrate on AJ. We have to respect Julio, and they're just not respecting Julio because he had 3 or 4 targets the whole game.
Yep.
And you just can't do that.
I'm sorry.
You just can't do that.
I saw a video by No Flags Film earlier on Twitter about, a lot of people have talked about it, is Julio just been a decoy mainly, and I'll see if we could share it here. And that's kind of what I thought, in a sense. Like last game, he might have just been a decoy or whatever. But No Flags Film came up with a good video about it, and shout out to him, man. He's always putting out some fire stuff. But it was interesting to watch, and let's see if I could share it here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let me put the background here. Sorry. So yeah, let me scroll down here, see if we can get it going. Let me full screen it. So this was, and we'll restart. Sorry, there's no sound, guys, but so this is Julio in the last game, basically showing how he was getting open and not thrown. You could see he zoned in on him there. So he runs that little curl. He's wide open there. Of course, he goes to AJ there. You can see him at the bottom of your screen, folks. And I don't know if that was just a bad pass or what, or if he was pressured. We'll watch it again real quick.
Yeah, so, that right there was a bad read. That was a bad read right there. I think Julio is probably his third read. His first read is on the outside, on the right side, on the outside. His second read's in the middle of the field, and Julio is his third read. But once he saw this defense, what he should have done is he should have looked at it and said, okay, I got to go to my third read immediately, because this right here is the whole middle of the field is covered, and you have the safeties wide on the other side of the hash, kind of eyeing to make sure. Who is that on that side?
On the top there.
Yeah.
I think it might be NWI. Let me see.
Yeah, it may be. But you can see right there that, he's covered. He's step for step. Julio is got 2 yards on his more than 2 yards, probably 4 right there. So he should have came off of that second read right there, where he sticks it right there in that middle right there at the 50. He sticks it right there where there's 1, 2, you might as well say 3 defenders. Meanwhile, Julio has nobody. He's wide open out there. It's
pretty wild, because if you go to Julio there and you hit him in stride, we're talking about potentially a touchdown. You know what I mean? With the physicality of Julio, and his athletic ability. He's not like extremely physical, but this play you could see him at the top there. So he's running that curl. Oh, go ahead there.
Yeah, on this right here, you can see that there are literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open receivers here.
Yeah,
there's literally 5 open receivers. But what you see Julio at the top right here, he's being sort of bracketed right there, because this is a zone type of concept where he's being bracketed at the top. So that is not a play in which I would preferably go there. To be honest with you, I would probably go right here in the middle, right there, just right there at that hash, because he's on a cut route. He's cutting across right there. That's where I would go. And I think that was probably what he was trying to get into, but he couldn't set to get it there. So he threw it to the sideline where it was either A, it's going to go out of bounds and nobody's going to have a chance to intercept it. So
in this play, we'll just go ahead and go with this last play here. So you can see Julio at the
Yeah.
bottom, folks. So this
Yeah.
is kind of a weird play. I wasn't watching the pressure. Let me back it up a little bit. All right, so here we go. There's Tannehill, snaps the ball. You can see he's not even pressured. It was just, who was he going? Oh, he was going for AJ, and it got tipped.
Yeah.
I see. But it was still a bad throw.
But that
plus the guy's blanketed.
Well, I think that was just it was one of those things where he's trying to hit AJ in the numbers, but
Gotcha.
it gets away from him a little bit because even though that there's not pressure right on top of him, you can see the defensive line is collapsing in on the right side on him. So because he's
Gotcha.
collapsing in on the right side, he's having to get rid of the ball and he's trying to throw it kind of right at the numbers so that it's either A, it's going to be a catch, or B, it's going to be pass interference. I mean, you get the best of both worlds there. But I just don't know if it's, to be honest with you, that one right there is one of those ones that it's kind of a toss-up of where you go with that one. But, remember, he's got split second to make the decision. We've got, a week's worth of film study to make the decision. So
yeah, we could sit there and pick it apart, and I appreciate that, man. That's why I love having James on the show, man. He knows the plays. I know a little bit about it. I was never a football player. I played many other sports. I ran track, played baseball, basketball. I just wasn't big enough to play football. I didn't really start watching football until I was probably really getting into it until I was like a freshman in high school. So, but man, I'm obsessed with it now, probably too much.
Are we going to have an intervention with you?
Yeah, my wife would say that for sure. And shout out to her, man. She's awesome, dude. So supportive of my channel and everything that I do, man. My music, my everything. She's ride or die. So I appreciate her. William Young says it seems like Tannehill don't trust Julio. I've heard that. Do you think it has something to do with that as well?
Well, I think I'm not so sure if it has to do with not trusting Julio as opposed to because remember, he lobbied to get Julio there. Tannehill lobbied for Julio.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, he restructured his contract to get Julio there. So that, it's not that he doesn't trust Julio. I think what it is that when he does have time to get Julio the ball, the entire right side of the line is collapsing in on him. It's just like that first, I believe it was the first offensive play they had. Julio's wide open, but Tannehill just never has the time to get him the ball. I think where Julio is the kind of guy that it takes him a little bit, it takes his routes a little bit more time to develop. He's a bigger guy, and he's just big, right? So, and AJ is big, but he's also really quick and really fast. It's hard to cover him. Julio's getting, in football years, he's getting up there.
Yeah, he is, and he's played a lot. I mean, and he's been very successful. He's played a lot, and he's he's been a heck of a player. I think he's still got some left in the tank. Obviously, I mean, he plays well. You know what I mean? So hopefully they can get him more involved. Hopefully that can happen because I think it honestly needs to happen. So obviously you can't just have one receiver doing all the work. I now on that note, I've heard, and this was like Ian Rappaport came out with it. I got the news from somebody else, and I thought I was so cool. Like, oh, I got it first, and I released it on Twitter. And then somebody was like, hey, dude, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but Ian Rappaport said that this morning. I'm like, dang it, delete, But apparently Julio and NWI are expected to be back for this game off the COVID list. So I would imagine other players there should be a few, maybe a couple other players that will be off that list. I have the list here. Well, I thought I had it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this was the list updated as of yesterday. Lawan, Lamb, Davis, Buster, NWI, Julio, Bud, Cody, Caleb Farley. Obviously, Caleb Farley's not coming. J.R. Brown, Danico Autry. Man, hopefully, being that 5-day thing now, hopefully we get some of these guys back. I would love to see Autry back, of course, and Dupree, obviously. I think even just hypothetically, obviously Luwan's going to be good, but hypothetically, he's already off of it. So this was yesterday. Sorry, guys. Hypothetically, if none of these guys played, even without Luwan, do you think we should win this game?
Hypothetically, I think the one that I would be most happy to see come back and make sure he's back is two. It would be Bud Dupree and Danico Autry. I think those two guys are pretty key for the Titans. I think they really are. They wreak havoc on defensively. Taylor Lewan, I think he's key, but I just don't, in everyone else on there, Julio Jones, they don't target him a lot. But NWI is he's developed into a pretty nice receiver, pretty nice possession receiver. So, and I think that was a surprise to everybody. I don't know if I didn't expect it. Just looking at some of the stuff that I saw during the preseason, I didn't expect it. Did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't at all. I mean, not like that. You know what I mean? I mean, he's played really well, and I think he's starting to carve out a probably a nice career for himself. Yeah. Even if it's not with the Titans, later on, I think he'll be with the Titans I don't know what his contract is, but I think he's carved out a good little career for himself, and good for him.
Yeah. Did you? I'd heard, and I haven't had a chance to look, but I heard that this 49ers game was his first drop of the season, and I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But I'd heard somewhere that they said that was his first drop in this 49ers game of the season.
Who was that? NWI. There for a second. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I think maybe you're right. I don't remember him ever. I don't remember seeing him drop any throughout the season. So, and he's a gritty player, man. He, blocks. He's the type of guy that the Titans love. The organization loves. He gets in there, gets dirty. I did see somebody in the chat, and I want to give a special shout out to him. Kent Woods. He's been sick, man. He's got COVID, so prayers out to him, man. Get better, brother. He's another reason that I do this Titans YouTube thing, because of the community that I've gotten to know, and that's a thing, guys. Is like that's why I do this, because of all you guys. Obviously, we're all fans, but I've met so many amazing people through this YouTube community. You, Raul Garcia, Sin City Titan, Kent, Al Pierce. Man, if I'm forgetting you, a lot of the people in the chat right now, and Kent's been a huge follower of the Titan Upload Network, me and Titan Upload, and, tighten up, man. I mean, get better. I know you're feeling a little better, and you're gonna go get some treatments. Try to get some treatments tomorrow. So tighten up to you, my friend, and hopefully the Titans can get this win on Sunday for you. And
prayers are with you, Kent. I do want to mention one thing: the football, not just the NFL, but football lost a giant this week, and John Madden. I did want to mention that. I mean, he meant so much to this game. And John
Oh
Madden's
yeah,
passing
definitely.
is huge. A lot of people who would probably have never thought about anything about football play
Yeah.
his game. He's brought so much to the game, and I just want to wish John Madden's family, all the best, and um, it was a tremendous loss to the NFL as a whole, football as a whole. So I want to mention that before we got too late.
Yeah, definitely, man. He's my dad loved John Madden. I mean, he was a huge John Madden guy, and so was I. I love John Madden, man. I mean, he was amazing, and definitely rest in peace to him as well. And DBS says I got COVID too, and prayers out to anybody, and um, thoughts and prayers and positive vibes, whatever to everybody who's been sick. And a lot of people have, not just players in NFL. I mean, everybody has been affected by it. So, yeah, much love to everybody out there who's and Josh says, boom.
And for all of you who've contracted COVID, I know how you feel. I was in the hospital last year. I don't remember Thanksgiving, and I really don't remember Christmas last year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really bad. And I just I don't wish that up on anyone. And my prayers are going to be with you. I will say a prayer tonight for all of you who've gotten it. Man, it's just it's a devastating virus. It really is. It took me a good 8 months to recover, and I still haven't gotten all of my memory back. I used to remember these stats in my head. Now I have to write them down. So
yeah, man, and it affects people, definitely. Even athletes too. So we'll go over a few more things. You got a little more time? We can.
Oh yeah.
We got.
I do want to get to Zach Cunningham though.
Yeah, and I'm going to for sure. Yeah, we're almost 50 people in the building tonight. That's the most we've had during a live stream in about a month. So thank you guys. Tighten up that like button. Just, all you got to do is back out of the chat real quick. It takes 1 second. Boom, hit the like button. And there you go. And subscribe if you haven't yet. There's a crazy stat where 90% of people who watch channels are not even subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button. I do try and put in work for Titan Nation. So, yes, let's get to Zach Cunningham, man, for sure, because I saw your video earlier. You're kind of dumbfounded by this. You know what I mean? And if you haven't checked out Titan for Life, please go do that. It's just Titan, the number 4 Life on YouTube. Just type it in. You'll find them. Actually, I keep his link in my description on every video. So just go to the description, click it. What are your thoughts on Cunningham? Why are you so baffled?
I'm baffled because when you look at his tape, and yes, for you young people, I still say tape. I'm old, so it's always going to be tape. When you look at his tape, look at his film when he was in Houston, he did not have a lot of what I would consider lateral quickness, where he could get up and down the line. He was good. I mean, he had average to above average lateral quickness, but he just didn't have it. All of a sudden, you get him on the Titans, and he's all over the field. I mean, he's literally all over. He would be on one side of the field, and then you'd watch the play, and then he's on the other side of the field. You're like, how did he get there? I have not seen anything like that in a long time, where he's not what his film said he was in Houston. And I don't know what was going on in Houston. I really don't. But, he's a different type of player than his film shows Houston. Now, this is a sample size of 1. Okay, this is a sample size of 1. So I'm interested in seeing in this Miami game if he's that same kind of player. But is it organizationally, we're just a better organization than Houston is right now? We have better coaching than Houston is right now? Or is it he was just so fed up with what's going on in Houston? I mean, it's been a dumpster fire since the summer. I mean, quarterback position, everything. He's just been a dumpster fire since the summer. So it may be that. It's dumbfounding to me how well he is playing. And how well he played this one game, and he was seeing the whole field. He was like he was in every single play, whether it was at the line of scrimmage or 20 yards beyond line of scrimmage. Here you'd see him trotting out there. There he was, and he's really confused me as in what is he? You know, I don't know.
Another dumbfounding thing, Josh brings up a good point. You know, how did he make it to us on waivers? Another dumbfounding thing. You know, and like you said, I mean, maybe teams were looking at the tape and seeing like, man, maybe this guy's falling off, or we don't want him if he's not playing hard, blah, blah, blah. If he does that for Houston, if he gets a little unhappy here, is he not going to play up to his potential for us? You know, David Long is coming back. He's been practicing, which is freaking awesome. I think I have a video of him practicing, actually, which is exciting to me and all of us. So let's roll it here. Yeah, so there you go. David Long is back. I mean, I would expect he would play this week. Man, we have a problem at linebacker now, especially interior linebacker. I mean, you got Evans, who's been playing well. He's kind of come along the last few games. Evans and Cunningham have been great together. Now you got David Long, who was arguably, I mean, one of the better linebackers in the league up until he got hurt. I mean, that guy is a ball hawk. I mean, he gets to the ball. Man, I mean, this is great. This is a great problem for us.
Our defensive front, and then couple that with our linebackers, is the things that as a defensive coordinator you wake up with cold sweats. You know, you want to call out sick that weekend. I mean, it is. I don't, you know, especially if you're trying to run, I don't know how you're going to do it. I mean, especially you got Danico and then you've got Big Jeff, and I mean, you've got to be going, okay, how do we run, and then how do we not only do we run, how do we throw the ball without getting our quarterback killed?
Yeah.
So I just this and not only that, but you can have a nice rotation where there's no drop in talent. There's absolutely zero drop in talent. So you're sitting there going, okay, what do I do here? You know, they're going to be fresh. You know, the Titans are going to be fresh at the end of the game, and here I am trying to figure out how to stop these guys. You know. And they're getting, and even when the offense is getting into the getting up to the second level, these guys are able to shed those blocks and still make the play. They're shedding blocks. It's not just that they're making tackles, open field tackles. They're shedding blocks to get to the open field tackle.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see this defense this year, and I think they've only gotten better. You know, so we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited for, you know, come playoff time. I really hope we win this game, man. It's just like, can we finally just, you know, at least just win this division? I'm so tired of the Colts. You know, the tear they've been on, the freaking hard knocks, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, of course, you know, and like on Hard Knocks, Frank Reich has this thing, climbing the mountain and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
you got to give it to them. I mean, they're a dangerous team right now. You know,
Yeah.
to face them in the playoffs, it's going to be. I mean, it would be a heck of a game. I think we can beat them. Honestly, it would give me no greater joy than to beat the Colts 3 times in a season and say, aha, you know, like to all the
But that's
Colts
it.
fans.
I mean, at any level, beating a team 3 times is hard.
Oh, yeah.
It is really hard. But I don't think they've seen us at full strength yet.
Yeah.
So
no, they haven't.
So, you know, they haven't seen us at full strength. They haven't seen all the things that we can do when we're at full strength. And with the King, you know, yeah, that's a different beast. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree with you. And Gabriel says the 99 Jags. And yeah, man, that was awesome. Actually, and shout out to Ken again. He sent me the highlight video on Facebook from the 99 Jags AFC Championship game. And that was McNair ripped off that big run. That was an awesome time, man. And it's a great time to be a Titans fan now. You know what I mean? It's awesome. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We got 50 people in here. We're almost at 50 likes. Please check out Titans for Life, James Wheeler here, and his channel. He just
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What do you think about the ability of the Titans to make it to the Super Bowl?
I think, and I said this on the Dolphins YouTube earlier today. Before now, I think that you got to have Henry. I think that's the obvious thing to say, but it's true. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in hindsight, just to make it to the Super Bowl, I think it's possible. Now, call me crazy. You know what I mean? Call me what you will. I know we're going to get Henry back. That I think it's a given at this point. Even if we didn't get him back, if the defense keeps playing at the level they are and you got Long back, and as long as COVID, I want to say, you know, most of the team has got COVID now. So we shouldn't have many more players getting it. But I think with the way the AFC's been this year, barring the Chiefs, I think you could get there even without Henry. If you got good defense and if you can make plays in the passing game, and Deontay Foreman is playing well. They've been getting better and better every game, maybe not stat-wise, but the run game has gotten better and better. I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, you know what? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Even, God forbid, you know, Henry didn't produce, like whatever, but I think you got Henry in the game, even if he's only getting half the carries he was earlier on this season. Man, I don't see why not. Do you? I just don't see why not when you have Henry in there.
The only team that kind of the question mark, I don't, contrary to everyone else, I don't fear the Kansas City Chiefs. I really don't.
Okay.
We've shown that we can play them, we can beat them, we know how to beat them, and you know, you hit Patrick Mahomes, you know, 4 or 5 times in that first quarter. You know, he starts bailing on it pretty quick. He starts bailing on the play pretty quick. I think that, you know, I don't fear them. The team that I really kind of how do I put this? Don't really want to see in the playoffs, not at 100%, you know, is the Colts. because we've played them. We've played them 2 times already. They know our tendencies, But if we're at full strength, they have no idea what our tendencies are going to be because we haven't been able to do some of the things that we would normally do. So the Colts are the one team because they've seen us so much. But I think the Titans can beat anybody in the playoffs. They can beat anybody because their defense is that good. But I don't see any team blowing us out for sure. And then people are talking about, Buffalo is the best team in the AFC. I say no, they're not. No, they're not. What was it? You are what your record says you are.
Yeah, and
you are what your record says you are.
Yeah, I mean, and they've definitely, been declining for sure. Now we do have, and this is kind of the scenario for us. We all know that, win and you're in. When you clinch the division, if we win and clinch the division, it's the first time since like 1962 or something we've won 2 division titles in a row, which is that's pretty crazy, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it'd be a big deal. It'd be a historic thing for sure. Obviously the magic number is 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Colts losing, even if the Colts lost, we'd be in. You know what I mean? So basically the destiny's in our hands. It would be awesome if the Bengals could pull up the upset over the Chiefs. I think they could. I mean, you saw what Joey Football did last week in that receiving core. So it's a possibility. I'm not sure if that game is in Cincinnati. I want to say it's in Kansas City. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe somebody in the chat could look it up. But yeah, so the Chiefs play the Bengals and the Broncos to finish out the season. So I don't think the Broncos have a chance of beating them, but hopefully the Bengals could pull off one for us. Nobody helped us last week, which sucks, but we'll see what happens, man. But man,
well, Indy did help us. I mean, they did win.
They did.
That put us in second place by ourselves.
Yeah, they did. Somebody said in the chat earlier that if we're the number 2 seed, we get 2 home playoff games.
Yes. We get 1 for sure. Yeah, it's because they added that extra playoff team.
Okay.
So we would get 1 for sure, and then if we win that one, we would get a second one at home.
Yeah, because we wouldn't play because we're not going to play the number 1 seed. That would be great. That would be awesome, man. I would definitely try to make it up there for.
I would forgo that for the number 1 seed, though. I would forgo that for the number 1 seed, hands down,
because that's the best way. That's obviously the best way to make it. And obviously, a bye helps you in so many ways. I mean, with injuries, with COVID, I honestly hope that this. And I said this on the Finn's channel earlier. I really hope that this playoffs isn't plagued by COVID, and that's for all teams. Like, I hope it's a fair playoff, because he brought this up in the show earlier. They had 21 players out for that Saints and Dolphins game, and they didn't move it. And I just don't see them postponing any playoff games at all, like they did earlier. And it would be a shame if it was just, you know what I mean? Like, you want teams to win fairly. You want them to be as even strength as possible. So,
however, they do have a week where they can, if they need to, because there's 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks in between the final games and then the Super Bowl. So they do have that week they can back up.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I could see him do it. I think it would have to be something very drastic. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if Tom Brady got it, they probably move it. You know, you know what I mean?
If Tom Brady had it, they'd move it till next.
Yeah,
They'd move the
they
next
would,
game till next month.
yeah, they would postpone it like that. So the Colts play the Raiders and the Jaguars to finish out the season. They obviously had the Raiders this week. I don't see the Raiders beating them, but you never know. It is the NFL. A lot of parity this year. But bottom line is we need to win. Winning, we're in. Winning, we're in the division. You know, everything takes care of itself. Obviously, you'd want to win out the last two games. You might have a scenario, which I don't know if you would mathematically, that you win this week and you lock the number 2 seed. I don't know if that's if that makes sense at all. If you were a lock for number 2, if Kansas City wins and you're a lock for number 2 somehow, then you could rest your players against, Houston. I don't know if that's a possibility. I wouldn't think it would be, just considering.
I honestly do not think the Titans would rest anybody, just simply because teams that tend to do that tend to come out stale in the.
They do.
So you play them. You just got to play them. Yeah. But the Bengals. Can y'all just do me a favor, Cincinnati? I go up to Cincinnati every year to bowl in a tournament, twice a year up there at the Hoinky, and I spend money there. Can you please do me a favor and beat Kansas City? I'm begging you. Just beat KC. Come on. Can you do me that solid?
That would be awesome, man. I mean, it would be cool if it happened. It can happen too. It can happen. So please, Cincinnati. So we're gonna start wrapping it up, man. Like it's been a great show, man. It's been an awesome show. You guys in the chat has been awesome. Let me get to some of the comments before we do wrap it up, because man, y'all have been incredible, and I know I appreciate it. James appreciates it. Makes the show a lot better. And stuff like that. Jeremy Squire says Chiefs' last 2 games are on the road. Okay, well, even better, Let's see here. Josh says we'll be rooting for Cincy, but I highly doubt that. I mean, you never know. You saw what Joe Burrow did, and that receiving core, man, they're super impressive. Let's see here. Josh says if we win the wild card round, we then play the division round, playing the best remaining team in Nashville.
Yeah.
Cardlack Track Masters Inc. says team's going to have hell with a fresh Henry. That's true, man. Henry's going to be fresh, ready to go. I cannot wait. Man, it would be so awesome to be there when he takes the field for the first game. I mean,
did you catch that interview this week
with
Derrick Henry? He was in an interview this week.
No,
and
I didn't.
Can't remember who it was, but there was an interview with him this week, and well, I tell you what, he gonna be mad. Like I said, he may not be sitting on the throne right now, but he's in the castle, and he's walking toward that throne room, and them doors are opening up. And when he gets on that throne, I don't think you want to see that. I just don't think anybody wants to see that.
Man, I wish I could find that interview. I know there was a picture on Instagram that somebody posted, like one of his trainers or something, or therapists, that he was without the boot, and everybody got excited about it. So I would show it, but I don't know. I don't know where it was. I think I heard about it too, but anyways, guys, I appreciate it very much. We're going to get on out of here. Please hit, we've probably got to over 50 likes now. I just checked a little bit ago. Let's check again just for good measure here. Let's see. See if it'll pull up. So 53 likes, man. There we go. If I had the little applause button like Upload does, I'd play it there. Shout out to Titan Upload too, man. His channel is a part of the Titan Upload Network. You know, if he's not bringing you content, I'm bringing you content, vice versa. We work together, and shout out to him and his family. That dude is awesome. Shout out to Titan Anderson, man. Titan Anderson's been a close friend of mine. We probably text every day, man. He's my dude. So shout out to Titan Anderson. Shout out to all the guys who are putting in work out there. Titans Time Podcast, one of my good buddies. No Flags Film. You know, Titans and True, Tennessee Titans Weekly. All those guys out there who are putting in work for the Titans. Locked on Titans Podcast. And shout out to you, my friend. Most of all.
Hold on, I found the interview for you.
Oh, really?
I just sent it to your private chat there.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see how I pull it up here. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, let's play it. It's a couple minutes long. Let me share the screen here. Here, I got to separate it here. I got to get a second monitor. Make things
you need like 25 easier. Monitors.
It would make things a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, I think that was released on Christmas. On Christmas Day.
Oh, cool, man. I didn't even know this was released. So yeah, we'll play it here. So Mario, you're getting your wish, buddy. I think it'll play the sound. Let's see.
Won a Heisman.
Yeah.
You've been a Pro Bowler. You've been All-Pro. You've been Offensive Player of the Year.
Crap.
We're pretty much running out of awards to give Derrick Henry. Do you have more personal goals beyond all of those awards?
I don't really try to think about like personal goals. It's just like, how can I be better, you know, as a player, you know, to help my team, you know, each and every week. How can I be better than the year before? My mind says just work harder, really. You know, I started doing tour days in the off season, and that's just my main focus. How can I be better? And if, you know, awards come after the season, then they come. But as long as I feel like I'm better and, you know, I made my teammates better and we were better as a team, then I'm satisfied.
You're a dad. You have a young daughter. How has that changed you?
It's really like God's treat to you. And watching her see her grow every day. Every day is something different about her. And she learns something or she's growing. I just love it. Watching her wake up, it's like opening a present every day. And you know, coming home to her when she runs up to me, it's the best feeling in the world. And it's my motivation as well. So everything I do, you know, it's all for her. And it's not about me anymore. She's my why, she's my reason.
What has surprised you the most about fatherhood?
You get a little soft. It'll soften you up a little bit. But, I mean, that just comes with it when you got a baby girl. So, I mean, that's how it is, and that's how it is.
Sometimes when guys become dads, it changes the way that they are as a player a little bit. They want to be a little more careful. It changes the way they approach things. Do you feel like it's changed you as a football player at all, or not necessarily?
I'm going to say the same. The other thing changed with me, I'm going to go harder. That's all it did. It just motivated me to go harder, and that's my mindset.
Now, your daughter's really young right now, but as she watches you play and watches your career unfold, what do you hope she takes away from watching her dad on the field?
Just hard work each and every day, no shortcuts, never getting complacent, always staying hungry, respectable, but also, you know, being respected, you know, cared about my teammates, care about the people around me, want to be active in the community, help those in need. Always thank God for everything that you have, because you can be here one day and gone the next. And it was so funny because we finally got her a jersey. When she put that jersey on, she was running around the house like she was in the football game.
That's awesome. That's got to make you feel good. She sees her dad and knows what he does.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Does she have a little stiff arm?
She might have gave one to her grandmother or her mom. Not always.
It's genetic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Somebody said it was on old video. I mean, maybe they replayed it or something, but regardless, it's like, it makes me smile just to see the king again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He means so much to this organization. I mean, the city, the dude is just a stand-up guy on and off the field. It's a true blessing to have a guy like that in your organization, and to be as good as he is on the field, the physicality, the toughness. He's the MVP, man. He is the MVP, and he is everything to this team. And man, what a blessing it would be. It will be to see him back.
Yeah, he's just one of those. He's every once in a while, you see a player that is transformational to a team. He is that guy. He has transformed this team. And to be honest with you, if you watch the first little bit of his career, the first year of his career, the first few weeks of his career, you're going, is this guy going to work out?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just said, I'm going to work at it. And he goes out there and he just starts running over people. The king decided, look, I'm going to take my throne. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. He really is. He's one of those players that I think we're going to be talking about 20 years from now, when I'm looking at my hopefully a while, when I'm looking at my son and going, I remember when Derrick Henry played, man, he was nobody could bring him down. It's just he's something. He's just one of those players that you don't get very often in an organization.
Yeah, man, he's definitely a generational talent. You know what I mean? That type of impact player, on and off the field. So yes, we'll end on that, man. Thank you so much again, man. I know we've gone kind of long now. It's kind of late, but I appreciate it. Let them know what you're doing. I know you've released 3 videos this week, and let them know where to find you and what your channel's about, what you're doing.
Well, I'm Big Sportsman 3 on Twitter, at Big Sportsman 3 on Twitter. On YouTube, I'm Titans for Life. Check me out. It's Titans, the number 4 in life. We're doing. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of things, and I'm hoping later on to do some collabs with you there, Rossi. And I've been on several different shows, but mainly I'm just going through tape right now. I'm going through film and tape and looking at things, and I'm trying to learn how to actually show it on as I'm doing my analysis and give you some examples of that. That's coming soon. But yeah, I just put out a lot of stuff from what I see, how I see it. I do a lot of film study. To be honest with you, this is probably I probably put in 45 to 50 hours a week just looking at film and putting out videos. So
yeah.
But I really want to thank you. I want to thank Titans Rossi. I want to thank Titans Upload Network, Titan Upload, Titan Anderson, Titans in Truth, Lee Hillis at the 615 podcast, because you guys are the ones that really got me inspired, and you've been helping me out a whole lot, explaining things to me, how this crazy YouTube thing works. And I really, you don't know how much I appreciate that, sincerely, for talking to me. We were at that game and you said, man, you need to get on. You really need to get on. And you just kept saying it the whole game. And I was like, okay. And meanwhile, my wife is sitting there looking at me, and she's giving me that, that wife look,
Yeah.
That wife look everybody knows means you better get on it.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys. You guys all inspired me, a lot. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing any of this. And I really enjoy what I'm doing. So, just, go out there. I hope you come over to my channel, like and subscribe. Even if you're not a fan of the Titans, if you're a fan of some other team, that's fine. Hey, I don't, the Titans have to have somebody to beat up on. I mean, come on. So I just really
say that in your channel.
I really, if you wanted me to look at something that's going on in your team, I'll be more than happy to look at it. But I just want everyone to be nice to one another on my channel. This is for people who know nothing about football that want to learn, to experts in football that want to talk, the ins and outs of the X's and O's, blocking, how the hand placement is, and things like that. I'm fine with all of that. So yeah, so I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos. I'm hopefully going to be putting out 2 or 3 next week. Hopefully, featuring some stuff about Derrick Henry. I'm just saying.
Nice.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll, they'll have some. I'll get some more information the next couple of days. I'm thinking I'm going to be getting some information about Derrick Henry. So if I do get some information on Derrick Henry, I might call you up and say, "Hey, we need to do something real quick."
Yeah, man, I'm down. If it's Derrick Henry, I'm down.
So anyway, yeah. So go over to my channel, like and subscribe. Go to all those other channels too, and like and subscribe to them, because they put out some bomb stuff. I tell you what. Sometimes I'll be watching Anderson and I get all hyped up and ready to go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because he
kills it, dude.
Yeah, he is, and then I get over there on upload, and upload is, he's going off about something, and I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. They're
so,
good,
yeah,
man.
So yeah, just I don't like to think of us as competitors in anything. I think of us as people who bring different things to what the Titans need. Some people may like, one thing or the other, but I mean, YouTube is big enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy being on your show. I really, anytime, just holler at me,
Yeah,
I hope
for sure,
I hope
man.
Anderson's still in there, because I tell you what, I go back over. I watch that one where he's screaming and yelling and jumping up and down. I'll go over that a lot.
Oh, it's awesome, man. I play it on here quite a bit, but yeah. So you've had 3 people already comment they subscribed. So
thank you very much.
Yeah. So Titan, RK, and oh yeah, it was Titan. But yeah, so you had 2 people. I post. Oh yeah, it was Gabriel. There you go.
Yeah.
So you got 3 people. I just looked. I think you're up to like 52 now or something.
Yeah.
So not bad for a few weeks. So
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love.
So we're gonna get on out of here, guys. Tighten up that like button, as we say at the Titan Upload Network, before you click on out of here. And we appreciate it, man. We appreciate all the support. This has been one of the best shows we've ever had. So thank you so much. Tighten up. We will see you later.
Tighten up.